All right, Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson. Got a lot to get to on this lesson. Been in some intense study, going into, I've been really breaking down the book of Acts, going into a lot of that history. But I get into this lesson, go through a lot of history, show you that this message is only for Israelites. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna prove everything that I'm saying. So this is a depiction, as the world know as Paul, but when you go to Google, when you go to these search engines and the artwork that you see today, they got him depicted as a so-called white man. But when you go into the scriptures, Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian. When we go to the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, when we go to the Egyptians, it says dark-skinned people. So let's get all into this lesson. A lot to get to. So let's go here. So a lot of people don't know what the Bible is really talking about because they ignorance, right? So the so-called New Testament, when you go into the word testament, it means covenant. So when the so-called New Testament was written, it was applied to Israelites, because when you go into the word testament, it means covenant. And who is he going to be in the second covenant with? The house of Israel and with the house of Judah. So he's going to make that second covenant only with Israelites. So that's something you have to understand. And it's going to be, I'm going to show you proof of this. Because the Messiah told the disciples, apostles, however you want to say it, he gave them explicit instructions how to proceed with the ministry once he left. And then you had Paul, and you got these knuckleheads, Sakari. Now understanding they saying Paul was a madman, but Paul came in the same message of the Messiah. He was saying the same thing. And they go to show you that this guy Sakari, you not learned, man. A lot of them guys over there is not learned. So let's get into this lesson. So Matthew 10:5. These 12 Yahweh shall send forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentile. It was a commandment. It ain't just the 10 commandments. The Messiah gave the apostles a direct commandment, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles. So don't go and teach the other nations. Don't go to them. This is what this is saying in layman terms. And into any city of the Samaritans, because Samaritans was overrun by heathens, right? Israelites was there at one time, and then the heathens took over. Enter ye not. So they go to show you that you people understanding of John 3:16 is incorrect, because you think the Messiah came for everybody, but this is cutting that false doctrine that you've been taught of John 3:16. It says Matthew 10:6, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So the Messiah gave the apostles a commandment, right? Don't go teach the other nations, but go rather and teach the lost sheep of the house of Israel, because at this time, the northern kingdom had been dispersed. They went into the Syrian captivity, and you had a lot of Israelites, even among the southern kingdom, that was scattered among all the known world at that time. And then you had a bulk of the Israelites from the northern kingdom, right, that went into Assyrian captivity, came to America, right, the 10 tribes. But some of those tribes still was lingering around so-called, Europe, but it really supposed to be called Asia, right? So they were scattered throughout Asia, Asia Minor. They was in Egypt, all over. Let's go to 7. It says, and as you go preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So that's who the kingdom for, the Israelites. It's clear as day. And it's in the so-called New Testament for you so-called New Testament only Christians. A lot of you Christians are delusional and you unlearned. So let's go to Paul. The Messiah, because a lot of you people, think Paul was going off. Paul was saying the same thing that the Messiah, said, the same doctrine, because the Messiah taught Paul. So why would it be anything different? And when it said Paul was going to the Gentiles, he was going to the Israelites that had lost their way, right? A lot of them was in the Gentile state of mind. They had went into the Greek captivity, and they was calling themselves Greeks, and they was identifying with other ethnicities. Other nationalities, rather. Right? Galatians chapter 1:1. It says, Paul, an apostle, not of men, neither by man, but by Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. So the Messiah told the 12 disciples or apostles to go and teach the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We know Yahushua taught Paul. So Paul was telling us, he was saying the same doctrine. Nothing never changed. When Paul was going to the Gentiles, he was going to the Israelites that was dispersed among all the other nations. Simple as that. It says, Paul, an apostle, not of men, neither by man, but by Yahushua HaMashiach, right? And Yahweh, the Father who raised him from the dead. It says, too, and all the brethren which are with me unto the churches of Galatia. So this is all the Israelites that was scattered in this region. So let's keep going. So Paul was check this out. It says, according to the Bible, I'm using this AI, I'm really liking the AI. According to the Bible, Paul's primary mission was to preach to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You didn't know this because you was taught that Paul would sit on to the other nations. That's a lie. Paul would sit on to the Israelites that had lost their way. Right? Some of them knew they was Israelites. Some of them had no clue. Most of them had no clue they was Israelites. So he had to wake them back up. It says, meaning he was primarily tasked with spreading the Christian, which this word Christian is new speak. It's Israelite. Israelite message to the Israelite people. They got Jewish. Another new speak. So Paul was responsible for going to get the lost tribes of Israel, right? Because after the split, when Solomon passed away, they split into two different kingdoms. You had the northern kingdom was known as Israel, and the southern kingdom was Judah, Benjamin, and the remnant of Levi, right? Was known as the southern kingdom of Judah, right? Or Judea. Let's keep going. Right here. So I'm proving Yahushua dealt directly with Paul. It says, according to the Bible, Yahushua interacted with Paul, the apostle, in a series of encounters that changed Paul's life because Paul was persecuting his church at first. And Yahushua, right here, it says the road to Damascus. Paul was traveling to Damascus to arrest Christians, which mean Israelites. A bright light surrounded Paul. Paul heard a voice say, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? Paul asked, who are you, Lord? Lord, Yahushua replied, I am Yahushua, whom ye are persecuting, because you had a lot of our brethren at this time was preaching Yahushua, and you had a sect, a large amount of our people that was, saying they was going to be saved only if they keep the law. But we rest in Yahushua. That's what Paul was sent to do, to go spread the good news to the Israelites that were scattered and lost their way. And also Paul was dealing with the Israelites that knew they was Israelites. He was a Pharisee, right? So he was very learned in the law, so on and so forth. A lot of history right here. So Yahushua was dealing directly with Paul. Right here it says Paul's vision. Yahushua spoke to Paul in a vision and told him not to be afraid to speak. Paul's ministry focused on convincing people that Yahushua was the Messiah and the Savior of the world of Israel. They put the world, they ain't talking about the whole world, it's talking about the Israelites. Let's go here. Right here. And you see they got the so-called white guy right here, but they're going to do that. It says the Apostle Paul taught the Israelites about the Messiah, Israelite history, and the gospel message. It says he believed that God chose the descendants of Jacob as his special possession. There you go. So let's go here. Let's go right here. It says right here, God's choice, which would be Yahweh. It says Paul taught that God chose the descendants of Jacob as his special possession. And it's something that you Christians don't know. You have no clue of this. Let's go to Ephesians. So Ephesians, I'm going to tie everything in so you can understand. There was Israelites that were scattered in Ephesus. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you that on the map at the end. It says, Paul, an apostle of Yahushua Mashiach, by the will of Yahweh, to the saints, which will be the Israelites, which are at Ephesus, and to the faithful in Yahushua Mashiach. So let's go to 2. So our people have been Hellenized. They was under that Greek influence, worshiping goddess Diana They was eating pork. They didn't have their beard, so on and so forth. Ephesians 2, and let's jump down to 11. So we know this talking about Israelites, right? Wherefore, remember that ye being in times past Gentiles in the flesh. These were Israelites that was in a Gentile state of mind, worshiping these Greek gods and Roman gods, and so on and so forth. They had became Gentiles. It says, who are called uncircumcision, by which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. It says 12, that at that time you were without Hamashiach. Why was they without Hamashiach? Because they was lost. It says, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, to prove that it's talking about Israelites. Dummies. It says, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel and strangers from the covenants of promise. Why was they strangers from the covenants? Because they didn't know they was Israelites. It says, having no hope and without Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua in the world. It says, 13, but now in Hamashiach Yahushua, ye who sometimes were far off are made nigh or near by the blood of Hamashiach. So yeah, that brought all, the 12 tribes of Israel to reconcile back unto the Father. Yahushua was the sacrificial lamb. Let's keep going, man. This is too much to get to. And that lamb without blemish was an Israelite custom only, And right here, Ephesus, right? This Asia, so-called Asia. These, you see it right here. These were the churches. I'm going to go and show you that. Right here, the 7 churches that were named in the book of Revelations, chapter 1. And then, so on and so forth. Let's go right here. James 1:1. Again, a scripture in the New Testament. James is servant of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. So all the 12 tribes were scattered all over the place, but they had sanctuaries like in the book of Revelation. Let's go down. It says right here, message to the 7 churches. This Yahushua addressing John and telling him, giving him instructions. Watch this. Revelations 1:4 at the top. John to the 7 churches which are in Asia. What 7 churches are these talking about? These are Israelite churches. Right here. It says the 7 churches of Revelations are 7 churches in Asia Minor, modern day Turkey, that are described in the book of Revelation. So these are Israelite assemblies. It says, John to the 7 churches which are in Asia, grace be unto you and peace from him which is and which was and which is to come, and the 7 spirits which are before his throne. Salakia. Let me jump down to 1 second. Give me 1 second. Revelation 1:11 saying, I am the Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, and what thou seest write in a book, and send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus. That was going back into Ephesians. That's that same church. And unto Samaria, and unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and to Laodicea, whatever that say. Let's go to this word churches, so you can understand what this talking about. These are Israelites that were scattered in these places that had assemblies. Churches. I'm going to the word churches, and I'm going to show you something that you'll never learn in Sunday school. It says right here, churches, the assembly of the Israelites. So the Israelites were scattered to these places that was listed, and they were scattered in other places. But this is the 7 churches that it's talking about, the Israelites. It says right here, it says yes, during Paul's time, the Israelite, particularly the Jewish population, was considered scattered. Right? So the 7 churches, you see them right here, and they was in Asia Minor, modern day Turkey. Hopefully this lesson was edifying. Call Hala Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Shalom.